Do you want to be rich? If someone asked you if you'd like to be rich, the answer for most of us would be, of course. Our society glorifies the wealthy and their expensive things. We imagine our lives would be easier if we had gobs of money. He gets us ask random people if they were rich. Their initial reactions were, well, they were thinking about their bank accounts and the size of their homes. But as they reflected further, most of them began to recognize that they were rich in other ways, a wealth that comes from somewhere else.
I would say I'm not rich, but I realize to the majority of the world, I probably am very rich.
Not financially. Not financially.
I feel like that question depends a lot on like the context of it, because I feel like there's a lot of just like different versions of like being rich. But I'd say we're definitely pretty lucky, for sure. And I think I would say that we're rich.
So I grew up in one of the rougher areas of the city that I was born in, very poverty-stricken, and even more so being an indigenous person. So you kind of, I would say, it feels like you're born to just stay at that level.
I think rich means attaining a certain amount of wealth in which you are fully sustainable by yourself. Independence, for sure.
I kind of struggle a little bit sometimes because our family has a considerable amount of money, and I would always like feel a little insecure about it. Like I would invite people over to my house and I'd be like, wow, like your house is so big. And I would just be like, oh, well, yeah, like, thank you. But it was just like an awkward situation a little bit. And I'm very like grateful to live in a like nice house and like to be able to afford the things that I want. But sometimes I feel like it puts like a gap between me and my friends and the people that I like love to hang around, and just putting a little bit of a barrier there.
I was so wrapped up in the whole money and the wealth aspect for like so long, just the way that I grew up. Like every time like love came, or like just any kind of sense of love, utterly failed. Take my family out the equation, I'm alone.
Yeah, I think for me, the classic line and meaning is Jesus' own words. He said, "What shall profit a man who gains the whole world and yet loses his soul?" You can have all the money in the world and be the poorest person in the world in love or in friendship.
My idea of rich as a financial richness would be something left over for everybody. Inner richness, that nobody can get that to you. You got to keep that yourself. That's why I'm out here fishing. Your inner richness is your peace, you know what I mean? Your peace of mind, so.
Ask me the question again. Now I'm thinking about other varieties of ways of richness.
What does it mean to be rich?
Rich is a wealth of something. I don't think you can receive without giving. It's selfish to almost give back sometimes because it makes you feel good, but that's kind of how I feel good, is by giving back to others. You give because those are the gifts that you have, and those are free. And if you can give that to somebody else, maybe that's wealth.
Jesus could have enjoyed wealth, power, fame, but he rejected them all. Instead of seeking fulfillment through material goods or recognition, he found joy by investing in meaningful relationships with others. A richness that can't be measured in a bank account or professional success or achievement. Jesus had some serious earning potential. He was a gifted speaker. He had quite a following, and and he was well known. He had good reason to capitalize on his talent and fame too, especially considering where he started. When Jesus was born, he wasn't placed in a fancy bassinet. Out of necessity, his mother placed him in a manger, a livestock feeding trough. From there, as he grew, he learned his father's trade, carpentry, manual labor. Until the age of 30, that's what Jesus did while living in what would be considered a podunk town. And then Jesus left his home to go on the road to teach. He had a message that he wanted to spread about love and forgiveness and hope. He traveled with the clothes on his back and didn't know where he would lay his head on any given night. Yet, despite his lack of a home, Jesus invited everyone to join him, no matter their history or station in life. And when this welcome was offered to people, they often found themselves leaving behind everything to follow him. Jesus had this effect on people. He valued those around him above society's valuables. This upside-down attitude was very much a part of his teachings. He believed selfless love resulted in a happiness beyond what material things in life could offer, and his message spread like wildfire. At one point, his large following wanted to rise up and anoint him as their ruler. The position would have come with endless money and power, but Jesus fled from it so that he can continue his mission. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. In his last days, Jesus was mocked as a king. And while his rivals put a fake crown made of thorny branches on his head, what they didn't know was that Jesus had lived the richest life of all, filled with a love so immense that he was willing to sacrifice everything for everyone. And that's exactly what he did. He was the greatest gift ever given. And this is where things get twisted around. It would seem that Jesus is saying that stuff is bad, that you should give up earthly possessions, that if you feel dissatisfaction, that you're not approaching life correctly. Some world religions have a central tenet, which is to abandon desire. They say the goal is to be content because you don't want anything. They teach that longing for things is no good. The path to contentment is not to desire anything. May I ask you a serious question? And please be very honest with yourself right now. Are you longing for more? You should be. continually desiring more. Wait. What are you talking about? That's not biblical. Really? Isn't it? Christianity says dissatisfaction is a gift from God. It isn't that you want too much, but that you want too little. Let your dissatisfaction grow. What? All right, before you accuse me of teaching prosperity, listen to Jesus. Have you asked God that you would desire more, that you would want more of Him? On the last and greatest day of the festival, Jesus stood and said in a loud voice, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink." Dissatisfaction in this life is meant to propel you on a search until you find what you're looking for in Jesus Himself. When all the things that you've been chasing after come up empty, return to Jesus. Let's look into the context of what's happening when Jesus said this. On the last and greatest day of the festival. What festival? The Feast of Tabernacles. The Feast of Tabernacles is a Jewish holiday celebrated for 7 days in the fall. And during this time, people live in temporary shelters or tabernacles, kind of tents, if you will, to commemorate the Israelites' journey in the wilderness after leaving Egypt. It's a time to remember Israel's wandering in the Sinai desert before entering into the Promised Land. And during this observation, they recall that they were wandering in the hot, arid desert, but that God provided for their thirst. He provided water from the rock in the wilderness. On this last day of the commemoration, they would march from the pool of Siloam and commemorate that God quenched their thirst. Archaeology has done a lot of excavating. In 2004, 20 years ago, they dug up the pool of Siloam, and 10 years ago, they uncovered the road that King Herod had paved in the 1st century that went from the pool of Siloam, where the high priest would carry a golden vessel that was filled with water, and people would walk behind him up to the Temple Mount. They even found a teacher's platform. Imagine Jesus standing beside the road as the high priest walks by, and Jesus saying in a loud voice, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink." Follow your thirst. If you're thirsty for something more, come to me and drink. Don't be fooled by your thirst. Come to me. If you feel dissatisfied, come follow me, Jesus claimed. If you think something other than God will satisfy, you are mistaken. Why are you looking for satisfaction in other things? We think to ourselves, if I was only wealthy, if I was only more successful, if I only had kids who were perfect, if I only owned a home like that, God alone is the one who satisfies our dissatisfaction. What will satisfy our thirst? People were made to be in fellowship with God. And until we find that relationship connection with God, we're going to be miserable. Jesus offers this. Whoever believes in me, as Scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within them. Dissatisfaction. A river of living water, not just a glass, a water bottle. Nope. The whole spring, a river. The goal is to encounter him more. And that's what we call here at St. Peter's the intersection of faith and real life. We're made for this encounter with him. Spend more time following him. Spend more time listening to him. Spend more time putting what he says into practice. Pursue him. Go after him. So, yes, I have dissatisfaction issues. And it's a good thing I do. I need God. Time with him always lifts my heart. I want you to experience the same thing. Jesus is enough. He will meet your every need. Would you pray with me? Lord, the dissatisfaction, the thirst within, we try to fill that with all sorts of things. Help us discover what we really thirst for. It's you. Help us trust in you, for you meet all our needs. Amen. For our biblical blessing today, I've selected a portion of one of Paul's letters where he's dealt with dissatisfaction. Listen to what he says. I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength.
So here it is, my alabaster heart. I'm keeping nothing back from who you are. No hidden treasure veiled by key or lock. You're a lifetime worth of worship, and that's only just the start. The years of endless praise, for you're worthy far beyond all I could say. There's a lifetime worth of worship in the nuance of your name, so let it rise like incense my whole life, a fragrance every ounce, here broken at your feet. Every breath